Hey guys, how you doing? If you're wondering why I sound like I'm in such a good mood, well, because we got a real fun topic for you today. And Jonathan, I could tell he's having a lot of fun right there. He's putting his skis away, he's putting his mitts away, he's putting his baseball bat away. And but today's going to be a fun day, I think. Well, here's the thing.
It goddamn better be.
Goddamn right. You're goddamn. I should have cleared my throat before this. Oh, that is better.
Clearing your throat is very fun for lots of people.
It's fun for lots of people. It's very satisfying. Jonathan, what would you say that your idea of fun is?
You know, I was thinking about this topic as I do, and I was like, gosh, there are so many ways to answer this, and I like the first one that I have to say. This is so corny of me, but one of the most fun things for me now is hanging out with Rachel. And it got me thinking, it was just like, you know, the real thing that is fun, like there's so many fun activities that are like, challenging and stimulating in great ways, of course, and we're going to get to those. But I was also just like, okay, first off, it's about the people you're with. It's like, it's about the experience you're having, and the people you're with can be a huge part of that. And it's like anytime that you're with someone and you're experiencing the relationship you have with that person, and it's like something that makes you feel safe, understood, loved, and like, and curious. And then also just like, I was like, the essence of fun, like after all that, that's like very ripe ground to have a good time. Yeah. But then when you're also playful, like I was like, I think for me, playfulness is the essence of fun.
And Rachel's quite playful.
She is very playful. She is so silly and so funny.
Rachel, for those of you who don't know, is not only his girlfriend, but my manager. And she is, God damn it, one of the best and of each.
It's true. Absolutely.
And no, she is so much fun to hang around. And I'm really excited. We're going to playlist. This year. Maybe that's already happened. That's the first weekend of March, so maybe that's already happened when people have heard this. If it hasn't happened yet, I hope to see you there. And if it already has happened, I hope we saw each other. Whenever you listen, whatever timeline you're listening to this, I need more friends. So, anyway, I think fun is definitely something.
How about you? What do you think? What do you think about that?
Your idea, Jonathan, I got to tell you, I'm a little stoned right now. What do I think of your idea of fun?
Being stoned this is how we very thoroughly, slowly, eventually explore ideas.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah.
Eventually, keyword.
The whole idea will be a whole idea.
An idea will be partially explored at least. No, I what do I think is fun? Okay, well, my idea of fun has shaped and shifted all my life. But you know what? I think I'm still very much a child at heart. Magic Funhouse is, for those of you who've seen it, is a show about a kid who's got stuck in a coma and then never got to live his childhood. And so as an adult, he has this kid show that sort of allows him to. I mean, it does parallel. I'm not like that character, but there's a lot of parallels of myself with that. So, I mean, certainly the last 3 years of my life, I've been reclaiming much of the lost sort of childhood urges or like teen urges, stuff that I didn't get to have in my youth. I was a very sheltered kid growing up. So my idea of fun growing up, I was a cheap date. Like I was easy to. You took me out to a playground, I would be happy being there all goddamn day long. No drugs, just straight balling it and just. Anything was exciting to me. Going to the grocery store could be an event, But now it's like,
we got to go to Chuck E. Cheese, by the way. Just remind me tomorrow.
But I've always had like a strict force around my neck my entire life. If it wasn't my high school, then it was the professors in college. And if it wasn't that, it was my very strict boss at the hotel. If it wasn't her, then it was my strict boss at the foundation I worked for or the law firm. And so when the YouTube thing happened, when I finally was able to make a living on just doing YouTube videos, then I truly could become in anyone I wanted and do anything I wanted. I dyed my hair like crazy colors just because I could, because my whole life I've always had to keep my hair like short and brown, for whatever job or person I was trying to impress or be with or whatever. So I think the last 3 years is truly fun. I think my whole life I've always
so it's like the fun for you is like the act of boundary pushing.
Kind of. I think
whether or not it's hair or it's in a video, or it's just like, never done that.
Well, yeah, I've never done that. I've never done this and that, like trampoline parks.
I was going to bring that up because to this day I'm jealous of this experience that you've had, and I can't. I just need to go do it myself.
I have, yes. So the first time I went to a trampoline,
tell the people
trampoline land. When you're making money just doing YouTube videos, and you can just afford to do, or afford to dress in whatever way you want, and to do whatever activity you want at whatever time you want to do it, suddenly you get to be your own boss, and you get to schedule your own schedule, and you get to do things that are often empty during the day when people are at work. So trampoline parks.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was totally. I am a little high and in my own head right now, so you'll have to forgive me. Here it goes.
I'm just still jealous, so keep going.
No. I think because I never got to do stuff during that. I was always jealous of we would call them the 2 p.m. assholes, the people who got to make a living doing nothing being free at 2 p.m. So like when I was at the law firm, we would be driving down the street and people would be walking their dogs, or they would be whatever at 2 p.m. They're not on lunch, and that they're not at work. Like, that they probably don't have a 9 to 5, 40-hour-a-week job. And so like, I always envied sort of the 2 p.m.
It's like an unfamiliar freedom. You're like, wait a minute.
Yes, exactly.
You can just do that?
Exactly.
You're kind of rocking my world.
And this isn't me backpedaling either. This is just context for why I just suddenly, this is just context
why this was extra fun.
Why this was extra fun. So when I finally was, because I've never in my life, both my childhood, my teen, and my adult life, I've never experienced really just, I'm free on Tuesday at 2, 3 p.m. Like, I've always been like, something has been occupying me throughout business hours my entire life. And so I started going to see movies at, 12 in the afternoon. I started to go to the trampoline parks when all the kids were in school. I started going to
Wait, what was that trampoline part? Back up there?
I started the trampoline parks. I was going to those when kids were.
So this is, I just want to, I just want to visualize this and increase levels of jealousy. So this is a giant room. That's where the whole floor is trampolines.
It's trampolines.
And the walls?
Yeah. And the walls are slightly at an angle. So it's like they're not straight 90 degrees. They're at an angle, and they're, you can jump off the walls.
The walls are also trampolines?
The walls are also trampolines. The whole room is goddamn trampolines. And the great part is that there's these foam pits with these giant foam blocks, these cubes. I don't know, about a half foot by half foot wide, just a whole pit of them. Of like that memory foam material, and there's just trampolines everywhere, and you could jump off the walls and into this like pit of foam, and some of them have like ropes that you could swing into the pits with. Some of them have like rock walls you can climb. Oh my god, and you get a good workout while you're doing it because you're exhausted and sweaty by the end of it.
You know what? Real quick, I'm thinking like that still sounds so goddamn fun, and like what the hell is it about that? Like why is it childish, and why is it so fun sounding? And it's like I think it's because it's like a play on the way you move. It's like a play on jumping. You ever jumped forward a foot? Like this is that, but like
I will say this. Why is it? And this is something that I've talked about with you, with Gabriel, with many of people in the past. It's like, why is it so wrong to play as an adult? Like why does the average adult look at, like, the only physical activity that the average adult will invest in, if not sports, is the gym. And sports, I mean, how many people do you know who actively do, like, play whatever every week? Come on. Especially here in LA.
Talk about that. I know a couple, and I've been meaning to play more, but I don't currently, so point taken.
See? Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, like, I stand within this demographic. The only physical activity that I'm like, that keeps me healthy is the gym. Like, I'm not playing. I'm not, maybe I'll hike with a friend once a week, and that's not even really playing. That's
it's like the danger of playing as an adult is people are going to think you play too much.
Right.
It's like, okay, didn't mean to like have a moment of fun.
And anyways, this goes back to me sort of reliving my childhood. It's like I realized at that trampoline park, that physical activity is really fun, and that's not some shit you grow out of. And you know what? I've done substances, not just weed, but other things that have shown me that physical, just having fun with your friends and running around and frolicking wherever outside is something you're not supposed to grow out of. I think that
substances.
I don't think that. I hate the stigma that we're supposed to grow out of. Just having physical fun for the sake of it, not for the sake of, oh, we're dancing, or oh, I mean, maybe it could be dancing. I don't know. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like why is a trampoline park kind of looked at? Because I'll tell that to my, like, people in my family or people from back home that are kind of a little bit more, I don't know. I'll tell them that, like, oh yeah, we went to a trampoline park. And they're like, oh, like that kid.
Aren't you a little old for that?
Aren't you a little old for that? It's like, why do you have to say that? Because why am I too old for it? What about trampolines makes you too old for them? Like, I don't understand. You hop on a treadmill or you hop on a fucking, some nasty
it sounds like you're too lame.
It sounds like you're too old. Yeah. And also, apparently the younger your mind is, the longer you're supposed to live, or something like that. I don't know. That's just a perk to it. But honestly, like,
yeah, you got to stay curious, got to stay engaged.
Yeah. And just, I don't know. Like, I have enough adult friends who are miserable, and I just look down. I'm like, do I want to be like that? Do I want to take myself seriously to a point where everything is a concern?
Right. Where everything is a concern. Yeah.
Right?
That's classic curmudgeon. Just like,
it's just a lifestyle I look at, and my whole.
You want to be that fun grandparent that's like, wow, look at what the kids are doing.
Yeah. Or just that fun old fuck, just someone who's just, I want to be like, I want to be Paulette. Like, I want to be, Paulette is a perfect example of someone who has fun all the time, is never, for those of you who don't know Paulette, I mean, obviously you probably know her from the videos, Donna, but she is, I don't know, like I don't know anyone else like her.
She's so young at heart, and like
very, very young
really
at heart.
earnest.
But she also goes out of her way to continually have fun all the time.
Yeah.
Every time I hear from her, I just went to the shooting range, or I went running up a mountain, or like I'm just
things that make me happy. Like I went out and did them. And,
exactly. And
she loves learning, and it's like
and she loves when we do the videos. Like she's not doing it just to be nice and to be in my vid. Like she's doing it because like we all have so much fun, but I can tell when we're on set, like there's a genuine spark in her eye that when we're shooting something, it's a similar joy that I get when we're shooting. And I can tell she's having, and when I look at her having fun, it's like, you're having as much fun as I'm having now, and I'm X amount of years younger than you. It's like, she gives me total hope to just age happily. Yeah. And I do think that having a young mind, like I think she has a very young mind. She's brilliant and one of the smartest people I know, but ultimately her mind is quite young in the sense of she just has fun. She knows how to have fun. And, I look at her and she's so healthy and she's so active. She's so, what I'm saying is I know people who are her age and who seem so much older, so much weaker, so much more tired, and so much more adult. And my whole life I've been pointed at being that person, to be that person. I've been, you should grow up and you should get this responsible job and you should have just have this mentality overall on everything. And then I watch those people keel over and die out of, living miserable last 20 years of their life. Right. And then I'll see someone like Paulette, who's just always had this fun comes first mentality and
a powerful life
and
force.
Just have a powerful life force and be, outlive so many people that I know who haven't made it to that age. And it's like, or I've been happy at that age. And I think that, so no, they say that laughter is the best medicine, but I think it's so much deeper than that. I think not just laughter, but just overall mentality of a sense of whimsy and fun, can attribute so much more to health. For instance, right now I'm having so much fun. This year, I've been surrounded by people that I love, and I've been working on projects that I love, and I feel like that the more I invest, into what makes me happy, the more I feel, or even maybe not even a project, but just getting up to go for a hike or just a trampoline park or just doing something fun. I do
take yourself on dates, love yourself.
But the more I do this, I do feel sort of my life force swell up in a way. Like I feel healthier. I feel smarter. I feel
you might even be like, I feel so alive.
Exactly. Alive. Yes. But I genuinely do think I'm starting to feel what they mean by, a young mind means that you are healthier longer, because I have friends. I mean, honestly, I'm getting to that age right now where I meet people at bars or wherever, and I think they're a lot older than me. And then I hear their age, or I find out their age. I look at their ID, whatever it is, and I see that, we're the same age, or sometimes they're even younger than me. And I go, oh my God. And so
this person is too mature, 23.
Right. And I do think, I do believe, and I've heard this, I don't know if this is true or not, but I genuinely believe that we start aging at different rates after it seems like once we hit 20, we all start aging at a different pace. It's like, I know people who age super quick and people who stay super young for much longer. And I think that, I don't know. It's
like we touched on it briefly when we were talking about painful truths, where it's just like when someone those lessons that take 5 to 10 to 15 years to learn, those things that then some people just get on the 5-year side of it, and you're just like, wow,
right.
Everyone learns it differently.
It's different speeds.
Once you're an adult-ish or something.
Yeah, we're kind of all combed equally from birth to 18 years old. We're all kind of in a comb together, through the system, school and whatever, influences, media,
So horrifying.
And really, I mean, we're like hairs, and we're pretty much combed up until we're 18, because everything we're told to believe or whatever, or do everything right, wrong, history, everything's taught to us essentially up until about 18, more or less. Everyone's different. But after 18, after you graduate high school, then you're kind of on your own, and then we start to age differently. Then everyone's the comb is taken out of the head, and we all start to dread. And I think that I think it's very true. I think that ultimately, after you're 18, you're kind of steering the wheel in terms of how fast you age. Mm-hmm. And I don't think a lot of people think like that. I certainly didn't at that age. I certainly did. I just happened to, I always thought that I should be acting older. When I was 18 years old, I hated that I didn't know a lot about taxes. I hated that I didn't know a lot about just being an adult. And it's like, looking back on it now, I just want to tell that guy, like, it all works out. It's all fine. Just have fun. And that's something that my dad has always raised me to believe. His motto is work hard, play hard. Mm-hmm. And, and my dad, by the way, is one of the hardest working people I know. He might be the hardest working person that I know. Ever since I've known him as a kid, he's always been work comes first, work. And, in the movies that figure is always painted as the villain. It's Robin Williams at the beginning of Hook. It's whatever. And I always looked at that fucking character, not just that character, but anytime a movie did that, the overzealous business dad or mom who doesn't have time for their kids. I always thought that was like the parent that I wanted. I looked at that and I was like, that parent knows how to get shit done. And then they get soft by the end of the movie. They learn that family comes first, and then their fucking job's fucked or they get fired. Oh, it's a happy ending. No, watch those movies in reverse, and that to me is a happy ending. But my dad, he knew how to have fun too. Like when the weekends came, he hit it hard. We went to Great America. We went to the fucking Monterey, which was far. We went to the aquarium, Bubba Gumps. That shit costed money, but we gotta do that shit because my dad grinded his ass at his job Monday through Friday.
His ass was ground.
His ass was ground, but when he was at home. And I have to say, the same goes for my mom. I don't know why I'm just saying my dad. Both my mom and dad. But my mom kind of enjoys relaxing. Relaxing is more of her version of fun. Me and my dad kind of have a similar version of fun. Mm-hmm. We think that fun should be taken like work. It should be hard. And not to say one's better than the other. That's just, But I always admired that my dad knew how to, we would go to Disneyland or Great America. We would do expensive stuff on the weekends because my dad worked a job all week that could pay for it. And as a kid, that was always really fascinating to me that he was in control of his own fate, so to speak. And my grandfather, his father-in-law, my mom's dad, mm-hmm. was always kind of resented that side of him. He's like, yeah, that motherfucker's at work all the time doing, he's not at home with his kids. He's not. And so it was interesting. I was raised with a sort of conflicting parallels from two of my opposing father figures. and sort of what their idea of, and they were both very hardworking, but their idea of fun was different. And
and you had the kind of opportunity to choose. Be drawn.
Yeah. And I didn't necessarily like my dad's idea of fun all the time. Like my dad's idea of fun. He's a big, comic, DC Marvel nerd, and he's always, his idea of fun, and he loves golf, and while I respect that he loves those things,
you hate golf.
Well, I will say, actually, I do hate golf. I hate golf very much. And I think I really hate it. I don't know why. And, I have to hand it to my dad. He tried to get me into everything he loved, and not because, not like you're going to like this,
right.
but
just as a dutiful ambassador.
As a beautiful ambassador to it, because he wanted me to, and I could tell he would try and introduce things to me the way that, like when a guy or girl to their boyfriend or girlfriend tries to show them a movie that they want, you want them to fall in love with it too, right. Like you fell in love with it. Right. So my dad my dad did not try he never tried to force it, but he did try and encourage it. And I did try, and I did give everything a shot. He loved karate. I tried giving karate a shot. I tried giving Speed Racer and Mortal Kombat a shot. Ultimately, we don't share a lot of the same interests, but what we do find interest in, we share a similar passion for. And so my dad has always worked very hard, and I beat myself up my whole life because my dad's vision of working hard and playing hard, he worked in an office. So I had to go to college like my dad. I wanted to do that, and I'm like, why am I straying so far from my dad's footsteps? Why am I so drawn to not do this? I want to just have fun. And I didn't realize that fun could also be work. And right. So my work hard and play hard are one and the same.
Nice.
And so it's like, and then when my dad started to see that, like, then he started to realize, like, oh shit, this is where he's going to go. Like, and then he just started supporting me in that route.
Nice.
But, and then he always just said, like, I don't give a fuck what you do. Just, you need to be good at it. And so, and he says, I don't give a, he even told me he said, cause he always wanted me to have fun doing what I did. But then he said, like, and if your version of fun, if you ever feel like you want to copy someone, if there's a movie that you like and you want to copy something, he said, there's no harm in copying anyone. Just do it better. And it always stuck with me. I loved that he liked to have fun, but also, he would always kind of play by his own rules. He was never the most moral. he probably hates me for that.
I get my loose morals from
him, but no, he's yeah. So anyways, my idea of but like I said, he was very work comes first a lot when I was growing up, and so I was quite I was never allowed to be the latchkey kid that I envied at school. I was never allowed to be the kid that just, who knows where Brandon is? I don't know. Like, my dad had to know where I was all the time. Mm-hmm. My dad had to know, he was loose with what I watched, but not too loose. I was still quite sheltered growing up for both my mom and my dad. And they were both sheltered when they were growing up too, or at least more than I was,
Mm-hmm. You just get less and less.
Yeah. But sheltered. But you know what? I have to say
no, that doesn't sound right. We can dive into the idea of sheltered some other time.
Can you become more sheltered as life goes on?
No.
I don't think you can. So. I think once something is experienced or tasted, one cannot untaste.
Actually, you know what? No, of course you can. You can't. Like, you could forcibly be like, no.
You can't untaste a cum shot.
You can try. You can try. But how do you have fun now? Like even if it is the videos, like, what about that is what makes it so fun?
Well, the videos are an excuse to work with all my friends. Like, I get to work with people, and it's like a party, because every time we're on set, it's like, I'm just. When you go to work...
Yeah, so much of fun is the people that you're with.
Yeah, right. Earlier. When you go to work, you want to work with people you like, right? Well, what better people than your very best friends that you're with, even if money isn't involved? Right. Even just the people that you choose to be with just to kill time. That's the best kind of people to just spend your day with. And so... that's why I like doing the videos. It's fun to work with your friends, but then also I enjoy editing. And that's just me personally. I've enjoyed editing since I was 16 years old, back when I was filming on a fucking mini DV tape. And, whatever that part of your brain is that becomes satisfied from playing video games, because I used to be addicted to video games. I know what that feels like, that good feeling of just playing a good video game for a few hours. But that same part of my brain is stimulated when I edit. I feel like I'm playing a video game. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy because I like to create, and so I feel like it's a merging of the two worlds. I think we talked about this in the last episode a little bit, how it's like a science and an art, and so it's quite satisfying for my brain because I think while I do it, it's puzzle solving like a video game can be, but it's also you're creating something, and so it's also an art, and it's something that just feels good to do. It's something I get to think about when I work out at the gym. Mm-hmm. What I'm running on the treadmill. I'm thinking like, oh, what's going to happen in the next episode? Or I'm running on the treadmill thinking, oh, I should cut the scene like this, or I'm going to edit it, or I'll edit a cut, put it on my phone. I'll work out. I'll watch the cut while I'm working out. I don't even remember that I'm working out. It like gets my mind off of the workout, and I get because I'm just focusing on how can I make this cut better. And so that is so making videos, and then of course then there's the idea of fun of when it's released. You're seeing the comments, seeing the feedback, seeing the reaction videos. It's fun for me to watch the reaction videos. It's fun for me to run into people in the streets and hear their feedback in person if they bump into me at like Starbucks or something. It is fun from beginning to end for different reasons all along the way. And so, my ultimate idea of fun is what I do for a living. And
that's, I think, actually, the more I'm thinking about it, like, that's the key. Like, that's how you cheat the system. And other people can do it in other ways, too. But, just like the saying is, do something you love and everything else falls into place. It's like, you need to have fun while you work as much as you can.
If you're having,
about the people, whatever.
If you're having fun, then what's that expression? If you have fun at your job, then you're not. It isn't really work. You never work a day in your life, or something like that. Yeah, and it's true. I ever since I've been able to make a living off YouTube, I've never felt like I've had like I've been going to work. I get stressed. I will cry over shit. Mm-hmm. Like if something just goes, things can go terribly wrong. Things can go horrible. But I'll tell you what, I've never felt like I've been clocking into a fucking job. I've never felt like I've been going to work. Yeah. Everything just feels right. Even the bad stuff. It's like, well, you just have to get through these frustrations to make a project like this happen. It's all part of just making this come to life. I get to do for a living what I did for fun, what I ditched work and school for back in college. That's now what I do for a living. And so that I have, and then outside of that, people say like, well, what do you do for fun outside of YouTube? And it's like, well, that is, but ultimately what I do outside of YouTube, because YouTube is so gratifying and satisfying, just working with friends and getting that all in my system. My idea for fun outside of that is just really being by myself. Like I go hiking by myself. I love to go hiking. That might sound not fun, but I find it very fun. I go and I'll get these massages from this cheap little Thai place on Sunset Boulevard, $30 for an hour. They do your whole body and they don't cheap out. They are good. I'm serious. Actually, I should plug them. Actually, the what is it called? The Sunny Foot Massage. Oh my God, go there. It's the hidden gem of LA. No one knows about this. Or
give them promo code Brandon Rogers 48 to receive $0 off.
And these people, oh my God, they will just. And I just go there. And I'm in heaven for like an hour. What I'll do is I'll get high in my car. I'll get baked. I'll go in fucking blitzed out of my mind, and they'll find the bed because it's dark as fuck. So you got to watch where you're. And they play this nice music, and they give you a mint afterward.
I'm pretty sure I was at Sunny Foot Massage or this awesome orgy. Yes, it's also a dark room. But anyway, that's great.
That's my idea of fun now. But I don't know. When you were a kid, what would you do for on an average? I mean, I know that you lived at a bunch of different places, so your idea of fun must have shifted slightly from place to place. Maybe
totally. I mean, I think some of the most fun was when I happened to live on base, and on base they organize you based on rank and family status, and meaning that every house on my block had a kid. And so there are tons of kids to play with. You just knock on a door. It's and the fact that everyone's moving around so much, it makes you accustomed to the idea that there might just be a kid knocking on your door, hey, any kids here that want to play?
Oh my God.
Next. It's next. Hey,
that kind of sounds awesome.
Yeah. And it's and the parents of course, come down, because their kid just got here and
right.
Okay. And so, and everyone's used to that.
Okay.
And they have a playground for kids every 2 blocks.
Oh my God.
You
Yeah,
just
you were
go
saying that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's really good of them to do.
Yeah, because that playground goes a long way with the kid.
It does. I love, like, okay. Damn, I'm just going to run through some memories real quick. But like playing variations on tag with hot lava, so you have to climb around the playground, or like when you get really familiar with the playground, you play blind man's bluff, so that you.
Oh, what? I have not heard of that one.
Yeah, so you climb around the playground, you can't touch the hot lava, and the person who's has to keep their eyes closed, and they have to not walk into things that smash their face. But if you know the playground well enough, you do know the layout, and you like call fish out of water if they're touching the hot lava. Or maybe they can't at all. But it was so fun because what it forces you to do is like the blind person is like going through the regular steps and the walkways and then feeling on the outsides, and you have to climb and like suspend yourself underneath. And it was just like a rock climbing tag game, and it was so much fun.
Sounds like the Bird Box game or something.
yeah.
That's kind of it is an element of fear there too, because I'm already getting anxiety just thinking about like, oh fuck, this person's going to feel part of my body and I'm it. You know? Oh my God.
Yeah, it was great.
That's
as a kid, that was probably my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, the playgrounds were always so versatile with what you can do with them. Yeah. I remember
and football.
And football. You played.
I really loved playing football. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not high contact. I was not into that, but.
Like
I love catching balls. I just love catching a football.
How would you play football with like? Would you just have to round up enough kids to like?
Yeah, like you do like 3-on-3 or 5-on-5 if you can. Just like it's
there's an even number.
Yeah, quarterback and some runners.
Yeah.
Receivers.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. I always looked at those kids.
But just throwing a ball. That's what it really is. Like it's semi-organized. It's loosely based off the idea of football, but you're just throwing a ball and catching it.
Throwing it and catching it. Gosh, that's I didn't know any kids like that. Unfortunately, I was with the nerds.
It's okay.
but I did when we were on the play. Okay, so my mom lived next to my mom and dad. I don't know why I said my mom lived next to a playground, right next to a playground. It was a big one too. It had a field and a big it was several sets of swings. It was a big one, nice. And a lot
of stations. You can get closer and closer to a station you're interested in.
Right, exactly. Yeah, little platforms with different things that they can do. And so I was very into. I was into a lot of just TV shows, Xena, Power Rangers, X-Men. I was just into a lot of mythological or fantasy sci-fi shows when I was a kid. And I was always attracted to the villains. I was always attracted to being a villain and having a crew that we were like, yes, these are my henchmen and we're going to take over I don't know, whatever. So I would all the other kids on the playground. I was the oldest kid on the block, not by much. All the other kids were slightly younger than me, but we would play this game that I made up, and I made everyone play, and they all loved. I think they all. Well, we had played it every night.
I mean, I made them love it, so I made them love it. Did.
But I was like the captain of this ship. I think it was a submarine. And they were my crew, and then any of the other kids that came to the playground, we'd be like, "Do you have permission to board this vessel?" And and then I would be like, "Dave, Kevin, escort. What's your name? off the, and I would only sit at the top level because that was where I stayed, and
wow,
yes, and I remember Jennifer and Jeremy were my number twos. And they would be, and then all the younger kids would report to them. And it was a game we took so seriously. And I bet you, I wonder if they think about this to this day because we were
they're talking to their therapist and they're and I don't know why, but I just he just would tell us what to do and I did it.
And then this new kid moved in the block, and I remember Jennifer. I think she liked this new boy that moved in the block. So she would be hanging out with him, but under a tree, on the grass out of the playground area. Mm-hmm. And they would be, and we exiled her. She's a traitor. And she's with that new guy that moved in on the block.
Quickly.
If she comes back to the ship, don't let her on board. And so then they started building a thing under the tree with other kids, and that was their home base. And then there was this war building between us, and it was just such a great exercise of imagination because we were all into it, and I created most of it. And I just remember I was like, wow, these kids are just going along with like being my henchmen. And then like the really younger ones, you just ranked on age. So like the younger kids were like the shovelers, the sweepers of the decks, and like
they were just happy to be a part of something.
They were just happy. They were just lucky to be a part of this.
Damn.
But
I think this is like a pretty big life lesson that exists somewhere inside this story.
I don't know. I mean, it's just weird. I just, you know, what's funny is that like, you know, never, you know, as an adult, can you like exercise your imagination like that? I guess the videos are fun. I guess that's a good exercise of imagination, or just anything. We work in video production, so just we work in LA, the land of make believe out here. So maybe this is just for people who couldn't get over that urge to play games like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's that kind of game playing evolved into something else. But yeah, you don't. Nowadays, I don't stand on a playground and tell children what to do so much. You know, as much as I'd like.
I remember there was one mom who told her kid, it was a kid who, because every now and then you would get kids who weren't part of the neighborhood. Like these were kids who, I don't know, were visiting another family for a night or something. Like they were newcomers, like tourist kids, you know.
And, they did not know what they were getting into.
And I remember one mom told her kid, because we didn't let him on the ship. And then I remember the mom told her kid, she said, "Don't worry, sweetie, they're just being assholes." But she said it in earshot of us, and like, and I just remember being up on the deck, looking down on her, thinking, "Well, she's not up here."
Yeah. You're like, "Oh no!" Like,
"Oh no!" Well, she doesn't have a crew.
Yeah, you're just jealous.
You're just jealous, bitch. Yeah, I don't know what made me. I think it was just all the shows I watched, all the villains. I looked at them and I wanted to be them. But like, I just like the idea of like being up to something and like having a crew that did it dirty like shit and stuff. And
that's funny.
And
and just like having an evil plan and like.
Yeah, and just
that.
You're in this world of make believe still, because we're in our minds we were on a ship that I think it was a submarine that floated over hot lava. So it was anyone who fell into the sand was dead. And I think we even held executions. Like if there was someone, like if there was a kid who was in town for only a day and he wanted to play with us, I'm like, all right, but you have to die at some point. And he was like,
oh, whoa.
Yeah. Cause it would be like, oh, well, he doesn't live here.
I thought they would like displease you and then you'd like time to execute him.
But not really. Some kids would just like to die.
Right.
Because they liked how they would die. And we would sometimes.
And you have a dramatic death. Like
you have a dramatic death,
feel
exactly.
Like a hero, yeah.
And like dying was never something that you were like against. And you would sometimes just come back as a different character.
Yeah.
Like you would come back, you're like, now I'm the general of this. And like, oh, okay, that's what
now
he is.
Now the rules of this kind of play is coming back to me. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we would just all go with it. Like, okay, yeah, he's the general. Oh, no, he has this much power. And like you would always understand when someone was more powerful than you. And like, or if you were more powerful than someone else. It was just, we were all very much lovers of, I think, sci-fi and fantasy. Because all we watched as kids were Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and Fox Kids. And like every show has such a mythology of characters you fall in love with. And I feel like that playground was just where we got to reenact those dynamics that we watched on TV. Yeah. And so that was a lot of, I think that was probably the most fun I had as a kid and then I remember when AOL Instant Messenger came out, which I have a feeling that most people don't know what that is who are listening to this, sadly, because that was our only form of
imagine iMessage, but no.
We
have to go back in time.
It was before even. I mean, it came out synonymously when email came out. I want to say, or maybe shortly after.
Thereafter, but AIM and it was at the same time that America Online was like, "You've got mail."
Right. It was very, very early. It was definitely before any social media platform had it was before MySpace, or what was the one before MySpace? Friendster? What was it called?
I wasn't even.
I forget what it was.
Present for
this
that.
was the first form of any kind of instant communication before even texting. I want to say. I feel like or paging might have been around, but I don't think texting was around when AIM came out. Anyways, regardless of the fact, it was a thing that we would. Once that came out, that was a lot of fun because then there was chat rooms. You could prank people, cybersex people, and then prank them. Cybersex people. Period. You could, it was and I remember my friends from school and we would get home and we would just jump on AIM. We would be eager to jump on AIM because that's where we would gossip about everything.
Go into a chat room.
Yeah, exactly.
See if you can like Catch a Predator.
Oh my God. And then we would do this thing where we would role play
Or get caught.
We would role play and tell me if you ever either did this or heard of this, because I thought it was a common thing when I did it. And then I grew up and heard of it never happening, or never heard of it happening with anyone. But there was a girl that I really liked, I'm trying to understand what you just said. I'm like, whoa. There was a girl that I really liked in, I want to say it was what was it, 7th grade or something like that. It was right around when the Harry Potter movies were starting to come out.
Right before I played Mortal Kombat.
Right. And we would do this thing called, I want to say it was like role playing or something like that, where we would just go, we would have characters that we create within this universe and then go on AIM and then write like part of the story. Then she went like this and and then send it, and then I would have to write. Okay, and then Meanwhile, my character, this person was and like our storylines would eventually meet up with each other, and then we would just be like writing a story back and forth, and they would just last for weeks and
weeks.
You
didn't pre-plan.
We didn't pre-plan,
right? We just turns,
and it was the whole thing was quite flirtatious. I remember that because I created a storyline with my character, she created a storyline with her character, and then eventually the storylines met up in Hogwarts, or like in this world. And then we became like kind of like love interests, but then at school we were just close. We were like friends, but like we were flirty at school, but then extra flirty in this fake world.
Yeah.
And there was a cuteness to it, because I remember being obsessed with this. Like I would just be eager to get home. Like, okay, she was kind of flirting with me today at school. She's going to be really flirty with me in this story tonight. And like I would get home and we would just spend hours like adding to the story, and we would just add it and add. And I would sometimes if I was bored, I would just go back and read it and like just read the story. And like I was like, I wish this was printed in a book because it's such a good story, and I'm so in love with her and blah blah blah. And I thought that people did that. I thought that was a thing. And I guess I just never heard of people doing that.
No, I never heard of it.
Yeah, right? I've never heard of that before. But it was so much fun. Yeah. Like, we got so into it. And at the same time, I was very into the story we were writing. And then I would be eager to see what happened next. After I'd send my portion, I'd be eager to see, like, who's going to die? Is this character going to live? Mm-hmm. What's behind the corner? I don't know. Yeah, and it was just probably the most fun way to flirt with someone. And she and I became.
You need to do that on Tinder. You need to start that shit off.
It was. I don't know. I think today people just wouldn't have the patience for it.
Excuse me. Like,
I mean, it was something that. I mean, people still write fan fictions, right? That's still a thing. I mean, it was like a fan fiction in a way, like that we were just writing together, taking turns writing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that fun is a thing that people can find different forms of. There's some people, who rape and dismember, and that's fun to them. I think that fun is like beauty. It is in the eye of the beholder, or the what do you call it? The inducer. The eye of the inducer.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I mean, the eye of the
the eye of the experiencer. So yeah, we can go back to the beholder.
Beholder, yeah, I think that's better.
Experiencer.
But
throw
exactly.
words in the comments that complete the sentence correctly.
Yeah, but I think that fun it's whatever you think it is. Here's what I think. As long as what you do doesn't hurt yourself or anyone, no judgment should be passed on what your idea of fun is. And to that point, you shouldn't hold back on having that fun because of the fear of judgment for it. Yeah. If you're afraid of being judged for it, then just fucking don't let them know, but still do it. Like you should just have. I don't know. I
stand by that in most cases.
Right. I just in most cases. I just spent so many years of my life not doing what I thought was fun because I thought it was wrong. And if I had one regret, if I was to die tomorrow, and my one regret in the hindsight of the 30 years that I've lived is like however many years were wasted not doing what I thought was fun because I thought it wasn't what I should be doing. When you realize life is just about being happy, because when you're gone, nothing of what you were supposed to do is really going to matter unless, unless, I don't know. I think
don't let your reflections on your life be like, I wish I'd been sillier.
Exactly.
I wish I'd had more fun.
I would. Oh my God. And that really is what they did. I'm sorry if I mentioned this on here already. I just think this is so profound that they did a study on people who are on their deathbed. They asked a bunch of people who had I want to say a week or two left to live. What do you regret most about your life? The most common answer was that they weren't who they wanted. They were someone else. They were a different person for someone else or other people. Mm-hmm. They weren't true to themselves. That was the number one thing. And I have to say, the older I get, the more I think about that study, the more I think about what they said, and the more it makes sense. And thank God I heard that so young into my life, because I've been realistic. I always kind of in the back of my mind, I'm holding that I remember that article. And I'm always holding that as a standard to my own life. I'm hearing these old people who probably, and especially the generations before us, really had to live to a certain standard more than we do. I feel like we have
a lot of freedom.
We have a lot of freedom to be who we want to be these days. And our ancestors, our parents, grandparents didn't necessarily have that kind of luxury. And so I understand when you're on your death, it's like,
we want more and we want more.
And we want more. So
it's good.
So just, go out there and have fun. And I think that life is about having fun, or at least, being happy. And I think happiness and fun are quite synonymous. Yeah. I think happiness comes from fun, and fun happens when you're happy, or maybe when you're not happy. Sometimes fun can happen when you least expect it. You'd be in a bad mood, and someone comes over and wants to take you to a water park or some shit. And to that, and don't turn that down if that ever happens. But anyways, guys, I had a lot of fun. Did you have fun today, Jonathan?
Heck yeah, dude.
Okay, good. Well, guys, and I hope you guys had fun listening to this too. I hope you're having fun right now. I hope whatever.
I hope you go have fun.
Exactly. Whatever you're about to do. I'm going to go to the movies after this. I'm going to see a movie. I'm going to see Glass again. I saw Glass, loved it. I've been thinking about it. I loved it. A lot of people didn't like it. I personally fell in love with it. I'm going to see it again. Then I'm going to see, what's the other one? The Lego movie. I'm going to see 2 movies today.
All right.
And then I'm going to have a reading with Nandini. Nandini is having a reading at a theater. And
nice.
I don't know, I'm a character in something that she wrote.
Fun.
And so, today's going to be, what are you doing today?
I'm writing.
See? And Jonathan, just so you guys, Jonathan is a very, very skilled writer. I will say one of the most fun elements of Stuff and Sam was when we had our writing sessions.
That was great.
It was
super
very,
fun time.
Very fun. All right. Well, guys, I hope that what you're about to do is very fun. I hope you have a fun day or night, depending on where you are in this world and what time it is at that place. And until next time, keep having that fun.